All right, so get this. We're going to do a deep dive today into
Come
Bone.
on.
Huh?
Bone.
Yeah. Jeff Smith's Bone, this graphic novel series.
Oh, Bone, yeah.
It's like if Lord of the Rings met like classic cartoons,
I see, yeah.
like a weird baby. But a good weird.
Interesting.
We've got all this stuff too, like articles and interviews with Smith
Okay.
and even some of the panels from the books themselves.
Nice.
So we can really like get in deep.
Yeah, what's really cool about Bone, though, is that it's
Yeah.
it's like this funny adventure, but also like a really deep story.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to look at, like how Smith made this unique art,
Yeah.
how he built this whole world, and why it keeps winning awards.
Oh, yeah.
All those like Eisners and Harveys,
Yeah.
like the Oscars, but for comics.
Right, exactly. And it's not just that. It's like Bone's been popular for over 30 years now.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
So to get it, we got to start at the beginning
Okay.
with those Bone cousins.
Oh, you mean like Phone Bone and Phony Bone?
Yeah, them. And Smiley Bone.
Right.
They get kicked out of Boneville, their hometown,
Mm-hmm.
and end up in this crazy valley.
That's right. Yeah. And their personalities are so different.
Yeah, it's great. Phone Bone's like the heart of the group.
Okay.
Always trying to do the right thing,
Yeah.
Then you got Phony Bone. He's always trying to get rich quick,
Ah, the schemer.
always getting into trouble. And then there's Smiley Bone.
So he's always smiling, I bet.
Of course. It's right there in his name.
Makes sense.
They really make the story so fun.
It's like the Three Stooges, but in a fantasy world.
Yeah, kinda. But that valley, it's not just a pretty place.
No, it's not.
There are all sorts of crazy creatures there. Like, remember those
Oh, yeah.
rat creatures with King Doc?
Ah, they were creepy.
And the great red dragon hiding in the shadows.
It's a lot for those little bone guys to handle.
It is, but the side characters are great too.
Yeah, like Grandma Ben. She's tough.
She's amazing. Not your typical damsel in distress.
No way.
She's more like, get out of my way, I got this.
You know who else I like? Thorn.
Oh, Thorn is great, yeah.
She's a princess and a warrior, and she does magic. It's awesome.
Yeah, Smith really mixes things up with her.
Doesn't he? He's not afraid to mess with those classic fantasy ideas.
Exactly. And then there's that,
Yeah.
the Lord of the Locusts.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's seriously scary.
He is. Adds this whole other level to the story,
It's that contrast, I think.
Yeah.
Like you have these silly bone cousins up against this
Oh, yeah.
truly terrifying villain.
Makes it exciting.
It really does. And that's where the deeper stuff comes into.
Mm-hmm. Like good versus evil.
Right.
But also growing up the importance of friendship.
Oh, and like facing death even.
It is. It's heavy stuff, but he does it in a way that
Yeah.
doesn't lose the fun, the adventure.
He's a talented guy, I gotta say.
He is.
But, the first thing that grabbed me about Bone was the artwork. Like, it's so simple, but it can be so powerful, too.
Right. It's kind of like childlike almost, but then so much emotion there, too.
And it can show these huge scenes, like really epic.
Exactly. It's deceptively complex. you know?
Yeah.
That simplicity draws you in, and then
Yeah.
he uses techniques like chiaroscuro, using light and shadow
Okay.
to create this depth and atmosphere.
So like those panels in the dark forest where it feels all spooky.
Exactly. He's really good at that.
It's amazing he does all that with like just pencils and brushes.
I know. It just goes to show you it's not about the tools.
Right. It's the artist. Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
we can't forget that Bone was self-published for a long time.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Back in 91, Smith was just this guy with a story.
Huh.
He starts self-publishing under his own imprint, cartoon books.
Wow.
It took a while, but he built up a following,
It's like that saying, slow and steady wins the race.
Ex-
And boy, did it win. Eventually, it became these graphic novels.
Mhm.
And then in 2005, they re-released them all in color.
Yeah,
It's like they got a whole new life,
totally. So Bone didn't stop there, though.
Really.
Tell me more.
There's more to come.
Okay, I'm ready.
So there's this Bone Legacy trilogy.
Okay.
It's a series of novels, actually.
Novels.
Yeah. Written by Tom Stengowski.
Wow, so it's like Bone, but someone else wrote it.
Yeah. It's like getting to go back to that valley
Cool.
and see what those characters are up to.
So it's kind of like officially approved fan fiction?
Yeah. You could say that.
I'll have to check it out.
You should. Oh, and remember I mentioned a video game.
Oh, yeah, right.
So Telltale Games.
Telltale. They did like the Walking Dead game, right?
Yes. They made a Bone game back in 2005.
No way.
2 episodes.
Wow.
Really captured the feel of the comic.
Yeah, no, I'm adding that to my list.
Do it.
Yeah.
But why do you think Bone works so well?
Good question.
Like, why can it be a comic, a novel, a game, I guess because it's about things everyone gets, right?
What do you mean?
Like friendship, being brave, good versus evil.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Those are always relevant.
And the characters, even though they're cartoons,
Yeah.
they're relatable, you know? They mess up, they're not perfect, they're real,
Yeah.
but they're always there for each other.
It's like that found family idea.
Exactly. Even when there are rat creatures and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But we can't forget the characters themselves.
Yeah.
Each one is so well developed, even the small ones.
Okay, let's do a quick game.
A game.
Yeah, you describe a character, I guess who it is.
Okay, I like it.
Deal.
Deal. So this one, they're tough, but kind. They
Okay.
protect people, teach them stuff, and bake amazing pies.
That's Grandma Ben.
Yeah.
She's like everyone's ideal grandma, you know?
Totally. And Smith flips the script with her.
What do you mean?
She's not waiting to be rescued. She's doing the rescuing.
She's awesome. And Thorn, too.
Oh, Thorn is fantastic.
Strong female characters. I love that.
So important. But the Bone Cousins, they're the heart of it.
They are. You can't have Bone without them, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, Phone Bone, he's idealistic,
Yeah.
wants to do what's right, even when it's hard.
It's like his journey is about finding himself.
Yeah, in this crazy world.
And falling in love with Thorn along the way.
Oh, yeah. Then there's Phony Bone.
Oh, phony.
Yeah.
Always up to something.
Always scheming. Yeah.
But he has his good moments, right?
He does. Smith doesn't make them all bad.
Which is good. It's more interesting that way.
Exactly. He keeps you guessing.
He's like that friend who always causes trouble,
Uh-huh.
but then helps you out of it somehow.
That's Phony. And then, well, there's Smiley Bone.
Smiley, gotta love him.
He's like the comic relief.
Always cracking jokes, even when things are scary.
It's a gift, honestly.
It is, but he's more than just funny.
Yeah, he's loyal to his cousins.
Yeah, and sometimes he says these smart things, you know?
He surprises you.
It
It's like, even in the bad times, laughter matters.
does. It's like medicine or something.
Speaking of bad times,
Oh, here we go.
those rat creatures, they're nightmare fuel.
Especially King Doc.
Oh, he's terrifying.
Straight out of a horror movie.
But what's interesting is they're not just monsters.
What do you mean?
Smith gives them some background,
Like a reason for being so creepy.
Yeah, it makes them even scarier.
I get it. And then there's the Lord of the Locusts.
Him, pure evil, ancient, powerful.
Gives me goosebumps just thinking about him.
But Bone could have been so dark, right?
Yeah, with all that stuff going on.
But it's not. Smith balances it with humor.
And with the Bone Cousins being so goofy.
Exactly. It makes it so compelling.
It's like they're on this epic quest facing real danger,
Yeah.
but they don't lose their hope or their humor.
It's a good reminder for us,
What do you mean?
that even when things are bad, we can still find light
And laughter.
in each other. Yeah.
Okay, so the art style,
Ah, yes.
it's so unique. Like you see it, you know it's Bone.
It's true. Very distinctive.
It's got that cartoon look, but it's also so sophisticated.
It is. People underestimate it.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's not simplistic.
Exactly. And the way Smith uses light and shadow.
Oh, the chiaroscuro.
Yeah. It's almost like he's making a movie,
Yeah, he creates mood with just a few lines.
And those lines are made with such basic tools.
Right, pencils, brushes.
It's all about his talent, his vision.
It's like he's showing us how it's done, the craft of it.
And it's not just the drawings themselves.
No.
It's how he uses the whole page to tell the story.
The page layout.
Yeah, he's a master of that.
Like how?
Pacing, the size of the panels, their shape.
Oh, okay.
He guides your eye across the page.
So like the long panels when they're in the valley?
Yes. Or small ones when they're trapped somewhere.
It's another way of storytelling.
Exactly, adding to the feeling of the scene.
And he can shift so easily between the funny stuff
Yeah.
and those moments that are really beautiful, even grand.
It's true, he plays with your emotions.
1 minute you're laughing, the next you're in awe.
That's Bone. It's got the whole range of human experience.
It's amazing.
It is. It shows that even in a world with bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
there's still beauty, there's still a reason to laugh.
And to keep fighting.
Exactly. It's a powerful message.
It really is, especially these days.
But let's talk about how Bone got so big.
Okay, let's rewind.
Back to self-publishing.
1991, right. Smith doing it all himself.
Yep. It was a different time for comics then.
What do you mean?
It was all about superheroes, really.
So for something like Bone to break through,
It was tough.
but Smith had this belief in his story.
He
Yeah.
did. And he was determined.
He was like a one-man band.
So how did it get popular? Well, word of mouth is powerful.
People started talking.
Yeah, about this weird, funny comic with a heart.
It's like that little engine that could.
Exactly. And then bigger publishers noticed.
Oh, that's how it went mainstream.
It is, so it got collected into graphic
Just
novels.
how I read it.
And then those color editions in 2005.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
They are, but Bone never lost that independent spirit.
Even though it's huge now.
It's still unique, personal.
That's part of what makes it so good.
It shows what can happen when someone has a vision
And sticks to it.
and works hard. And look at the awards it won.
Yeah, the Eisners, right?
Multiple Eisners,
Yeah.
Harveys, and tons more.
Critics loved it.
It's funny, when you describe Bone,
Yeah.
it sounds kind of simple, right?
Cartoon cousins lost in a valley, haha.
But underneath that, it's so much more.
It is. It makes you laugh. It makes you think.
It stays with you.
That's a sign of a great story, I think.
It is, and it works for everyone.
What do you mean?
Kids love it, adults love it.
It's like those Pixar movies.
Yes, works on multiple levels.
It's hard to do.
It is what makes Bone so special.
They can grow with you, you know?
Exactly. You can read it at different times in your life.
And get something new from it.
Right. But now we got to move on.
To the last part.
Yeah, we'll talk about the legacy of Bone.
Like how it changed comics.
And more. Stay tuned for the big finale.
Okay, can't wait. Okay, so we talked about, like, the characters and the art, right?
Yeah, and those deeper themes, too. Like,
Right, but how did Bone change things, you know?
it's a legacy. It's interesting because Bone didn't just,
Yeah.
entertain people. It kind of changed how we see graphic novels.
Oh, I see.
Like, back then, comics were seen as,
Yeah.
kid stuff or just superheroes.
Right, right.
But Bone comes along with its humor and
Mhm.
and those big, serious ideas we talked about.
Yeah, and it showed that graphic novels could be more.
Exactly. It challenged that whole idea.
Like they could tell complex stories for everyone.
It was like this genre-bending thing.
Huh, yeah.
And it helped other creators who wanted to do different stuff.
To take risks.
Yeah, to deal with tough topics and to really use the format.
I bet it's not a coincidence that we saw so many good graphic novels.
After Bone, right.
Yeah, like it opened the door, showed what was possible.
Exactly. Comics could be art, could be literature.
Powerful stuff. And visually, too.
Oh, absolutely. Smith style.
Yeah, the lines, the characters, the light and shadow.
It's influenced so many artists.
You can see it today, right?
Yeah, that blend of cartoon and sophistication.
It's like a reference point for comics now.
It really is. And
Right.
that's because Smith created this world that's both familiar and fantastical.
But it's not just how it looks, right? It's the story itself.
Yeah, it sticks with you.
Like those themes, friendship, facing your fears.
They connect with everyone.
And even though they're cartoon characters, they feel real, they struggle, they mess up,
But they keep going.
and they help each other.
That's what makes it last, that emotional part.
It's a story that makes you feel things.
And think.
It stays with you, even after you finish reading.
Which is why people are still discovering Bone today.
And falling in love with it. And,
What?
it's a story that could be adapted easily.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We've had the video game, the novels,
Mhm.
but imagine like an animated series or a movie even.
It's got everything,
Yeah.
Epic scale, great characters, humor, heart.
It could be huge, like Harry Potter, huge.
It really could. Imagine those scenes.
Yeah. The valley, the characters come to life.
But adapting it wouldn't be easy, though.
No, why not?
Well, it gets kind of dark, right?
That's true, the later parts.
Balancing that with the funny stuff, it'd be tricky
It would take a skilled team.
to get it right. But if they did,
Yeah.
a Bone movie, it could be amazing.
Introduce it to a whole new audience.
Exactly. And wouldn't it be
Yes,
great
yeah.
to see those characters on screen? Like
Oh, I know. Phone Bone, Phony Bone, all of them.
Grandma Ben, Thorn.
So many possibilities.
And that's what's exciting about Bone, even now.
Mm.
It still sparks imagination or reminds us
Of what?
of the power of stories,
So to wrap this up,
Yeah.
Jeff Smith created all of this from an idea.
And hard work and passion.
And it makes you think, what stories are out there?
Waiting to be told.
What worlds are waiting to be found?
Maybe the next Bone is out there right now.
Yeah.
Just needs someone to create it.
And maybe that's someone I'm listening right now.
You never know.
So keep exploring, keep creating.
Diving deep.
Thanks for joining us on this Bone journey.
It's been fun.
We'll see you next time.